The idea for the Orange Whip developed as a need to help my students learn the athletic golf swing motion. So many of them are so tense and tight and they just chop down on the golf ball. I need to get them to relax and learn to swing and find a nice rhythm. So after I had that original prototype that worked, I started using this in my golf lessons, and my students kept saying, "Hey Jimmy, can I buy this thing from you?" And that's when the idea came, hey, I'm gonna make a product, I'm gonna start a business. And it was at that point I started focusing on, well, what do I do next? How do I get the parts for this? How do I introduce it to the world? How do I share it with other golfers? I introduced it here at the PGA show in 2008. And that very first year, we sold 4,000 Orange Whips. So it's still small compared to the population of golf. But I started to see some at some golf courses like you referenced. And I even saw a couple on the PGA Tour on TV. So that was very exciting because this orange ball just pops. I mean, even if it's in a bag and it's a long distance away, I can see it right away. So when I started seeing it more regularly, it was fun for me because I knew it was happening. And the more that we spread the message and the more I traveled to promote it, the further it's expanded. And we make the Orange Whips here in the USA, but they've gone all over the world. We're in pretty much every country now and continuing to grow. So it's been exciting for me because it was an idea I had, started making some in my garage, had the hopes of selling them, and now we've grown into a very big company. In just a short span of 8 years, we went from selling just a few thousand whips that first year to selling 50,000 last year, and we're looking to go well above that this year. The Orange Whip is wonderful to loosen up your golf muscles to get you ready to play. It's designed in such a way that it's got a weighted ball and the flexible shaft and the counterweight. But this is much heavier than a golf club, so it's going to stretch you out, but it's also going to increase and improve your timing. So while swinging this back and forth, if done correctly, it feels like what Ernie Els looks like. But if you start to hang on tight and try to force it, it will pull you off balance and become very awkward. Golf instruction has gotten so heavy and pretty complicated at times that people focus on positions rather than a complete rhythm. A golf swing is a motion, and if it's not in a complete rhythm, it's not going to work well. It's almost like trying to learn to dance, but in a choppy format. You've got to put a flow into it. There's got to be a rhythm. This is where the rhythm comes from. Well, the different models are basically, this version here, which is our Orange Whip Trainer, our longest version, is like a driver for me. We have the mid-size, which is 4 inches shorter, and that's more like a long iron, and then we have the compact, which is like a short iron that's easier to use indoors. But because they're all different lengths, it's going to affect your swing plane. A longer version will tend to flatten it out and make it for the longer driver style swing, but the short one will get you into more upright, and you get a little steeper if you need to. But all of the above versions help the wrist to hinge really because of this counterbalance. When I'm swinging back and forth, my wrists need to support that weight of that club, and that counterbalance does a wonderful job of setting the wrists. As you're coming down, it's going to allow the club to release and hinge up into the follow-through. Now, because we have multiple Orange Whips, I encourage golfers to try and test them because they're going to get an experience that's unique to them, and I'd like them to feel the differences in the Orange Whips because they may feel like this longer version's better for me because it slows me down, it gets everything timed out. But then you may have someone, I need a shorter version because the long version tends to flatten my swing out, I want to be more upright. So my best advice is you could go to our website, orangewhiptrainer.com, find a store near your neighborhood and try them out. It's fun to try the different sizes because you're going to feel something different with each one.